It's a little counterintuitive. You would think it would be set up to where it would just go at a certain time. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet, and live tonight in North Fort Myers. And let me go ahead and mute that there. All right, good. We're on YouTube and we are on live. So there we go. All right, welcome to those who are joining on YouTube or who are listening to this later in the archive. Tonight we're going to be talking about a number of different things, but the most important thing we're going to be talking about is I'm going to be working some more with you guys on the plans that I'm putting together for a local watch net. And I kind of got this idea from the Hurricane Watch Net. So I took some things from Aries. I took some things that I learned in public safety, in emergency management, and in the fire service, and in law enforcement. And I kind of stuck it all together, and I'm trying to make a radio net that has an internet component that will be live during storms, before, during, after. It'll be like a companion that would be there that you can make contact with even during a storm if you need to. One of the things I was surprised about was that most of the Aries teams don't necessarily operate during the event. They may be at the EOC monitoring or something like that, but they don't really have any kind of activation during the event. Everybody hunkers down, they weather the event, and then they turn it on. Aries also is rarely ever activated. So those two things aside, I decided that I want to do something that's utilized, something that is activated on a more normal basis, on a regular basis, and something where we can all utilize our equipment more and stay in contact with each other and help each other out during these times. And so what I've come up with basically is the Southwest Florida WatchNet. Now, I've been working a lot this week on getting it all put together, and I worked on the administrative side of it before I got to the logo. So the logo is not quite ready yet. It's going to be a round logo. It's going to have different colors than the other ones we have, and I think you guys will like it. It's going to be a cool logo. We're going to operate on the 775 repeater, which is UHF. All of the Aries stuff in Lee County is on VHF. So we're going to operate on UHF because I'm going to talk about this later tonight. One of the things I want to do is I want us to all to try to dual monitor the repeater channel that we're using, and maybe a second radio or a dual monitor radio monitoring the 2-meter call channel, because that channel should be monitored by as many of us as possible before, during, and after a major event, so that we can provide local information to other hams, so that we can communicate with each other and welfare check each other and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to put together tonight. I've already got a lot of the stuff all written out. We're going to go through it. There's not a lot of folks in tonight, so I assume this is something that's not garnering as much attention as I thought it would. Our email went out to over 200 and something people, and there's 7 of us in here right now. So it's a little light tonight. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe did everybody get the was there anybody that didn't get the newsletter? I mean, maybe we had an issue. It says it went out. I don't know. I guess it went out. Okay. All right. So it's no big deal. A lot of people do watch on the repeats. We get 40, 45, 50 viewers that go back and watch us on the replay later. So that's fine too. And we're obviously here for all you guys too that are watching us on the replay. If you could see behind me, I've got boxes stacked up back there. I'm in a state of flux here. We have had some money that we've been kind of expecting come through, and we are going to go ahead and remove all of the trees except one oak tree from our yard. All these big trees are gone. They're all going to be ripped away, and I'm sponsoring my own hurricane, and I'm getting these things out of here, and I'm going to open the sky up for myself, and I'm going to be moving my big old Derek rotor antenna over to the side of the shack here, where all the wiring will be really close. And I'm going to move my HF over to the other side of the property so that the two will be far apart. And then I'm going to keep my antenna down on the south side of the property. So I'm going to actually have three different arrays now that are going to be far enough apart that I can use them at the same time. I'm having a problem using anything at the same time. Like if I'm on FT8 on 40 meters in the morning or 20 meters, if it's transmitting while I'm on the Southwest Florida traffic net checking in, they can hear that while I'm talking. And so I think a lot of that is just the proximity of not only everything in the shack, but everything outside the shack and my antenna arrays as well. So anyway, that's where that's all at. So I'm getting all that removed. I'm probably going to be building my Go box soon. We're putting up a new security system here, which I'm looking forward to. We're putting up an 8-camera system, and I'm looking at putting up a high definition system. My cameras are going to be 3K. So I'll be able to like zoom into tags on the street going by out front if I want to. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's coming up. We're going to be getting that stuff too. I'll tell you what, I'm at the point where you got to have security cameras nowadays. Not only that, you got to monitor them. There's 3 of us that live here, and one of us is here almost all the time. So I've put screens in 3 different rooms. I actually have an HDMI splitter and HDMI extenders, and I'm putting a high def screen, a 42-inch high def screen in 3 different rooms. I've got my 32 up here. It's going to be one. And I got a 42 in the 2 rooms that we stay in. And so everywhere you go, you'll be able to see these 8 high definition cameras. So I'm not fooling around. Yeah, I'm one of these people that I know that there's a few facts. Okay, number one, bad guys always look for the glow of infrared cameras. Okay, they know if they're stupid or smart, they know that one. They know to look for that. Number 2, the whole time I was a cop, I never worked a burglary at the house on the street that had the street light on, the porch light on. It was just a weird thing. It always happened at a house, and I always asked, was the porch light on? Was there any outside lights on? No, there wasn't. I've never worked a burglary at a well-lit house. So we've got big lights. I put big lights up all around here, got cameras all up around here, going up here. I've got my cameras I have now. I got 2 left working up here, so it's gonna need to be soon. So in about 3 weeks, we'll be installing those. My tower, I'm actually moving the tower. It's now sitting on the ground. It sits on brick on the ground, and I've got it tied down with guy wires, and I got a few brackets on the bottom. I'm gonna take that out, and I'm building a 7-foot tall 4x4 stand for this thing to sit on. And this entire tower is going to be on hinges at the bottom. The one side's going to be on big horseshoes, and it'll sit down in there and have a pin through it. So the tower will actually lean all the way over, and I've already started to build a thing out of an old fish tank stand that I will drag out in the driveway, and it's a return that will hold the tower. And then I'll strap the tower down to the return, and it holds there for storms. I think it's a great idea because now if I'm doing this watch net, I need to make sure that as soon as the storm's over, I need to get my antenna array back up as soon as possible. This gives me a way to keep it up till the last minute, take it down by myself, and then get it back up as soon as the winds die down. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So I just wanted to give you all that. I'm going to be working on all that here in the next month. I'll have pictures. I'll show you guys how it's going as we get it along. But man, I'm looking forward to getting a lot better HF because I'm literally under my entire wire just about is under a canopy of trees, and I've still made almost over 10,000 contacts. So I can't wait to see what I can do with this wire when I get it completely out from under all these trees, get it up a little higher, get it out away from my roof a lot more, and get the angles a little better. And I'm going to face it more to the northeast instead of right now my V faces south. And I kind of really want more of a north or northeast deal there. Anyway, that's it. Anybody have anything on any of that before we move on? All right. Does anybody have anything real quick? Any announcements or anything they want to talk about real quick before we get started? Okay. Hearing none.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me show you this thing I just got in for the Hex Beam.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I got to go get it.
as you guys know, Rick is he's our guinea pig. He's building the first big hex beam here of the tech crew. So we're gonna
Well,
see.
while Rick's gone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. Now I've got a couple of things. Something. If you're building a tower, a friend of mine lives out Immokalee. He's got quite a bit of land, but he's built a tower there, and he's built on the top of his tower a kind of system where. Hang on, I need two hands for this. I'm not Italian, but I need two hands. So there's his there's his tower. There's his antennas. So let me see so I can put it so you can see. Okay.
Right.
So there's the tower. There's the antennas. When he folds his tower down, his antennas do that.
Ah,
So he can put them up real quick and bring them down.
yeah,
So instead of coming down like that, so you've got, 16 foot or whatever, and your mast is at an angle because you don't want to damage your antennas, your beams, and it's just a little pulley system. Most of the weight is the weight of the antennas control it. It's kind of cool.
yeah. That
So,
sounds like it. That sounds like a little more engineering than I'm able to do, though. I mean, I'm building this myself, and I'm no engineer.
well,
But
he
I
did.
will. Go ahead.
He got all the parts from Harbor Freight.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So evidently, he's got a couple of bearings with a pole through it, and those bearings they sell for some other task or whatever. It's part of
Right.
one of the machines or something. But yeah, that's just something.
I never thought about Northern Tool. That's probably the best place to go to get my hardware to mount the thing down because I haven't.
Yeah, some of their hardware is junk though. It's made of pig iron and stuff. It's not very strong. The bolts, the nuts and bolts. The best place for hardware, good hardware, is Ace.
Yeah.
It's a
I
little
don't
more
think we have any
expensive.
aces left up here, but yeah.
Oh, we got a ton down here. Sunshine Ace on Bonita Beach Road, Bonita Beach and 41.
I think there's one over on Metro Parkway too.
Yeah, I think the closest one to us is down on Metro, down on South Metro. Um, yeah, I got a Home Depot and a Lowe's, and I'm quite big fans of those two. But
Yeah.
they helped me out quite a bit in there. I remember back when they used to actually have people that walked around and helped you. But yeah, they're still cool. They still got everything there.
And
I went
people
there.
that checked you out.
I went there to buy a pump part, and I tried for 25 minutes to get someone. I won't say which one because it wasn't their fault. They were shorthanded, whatever. But I tried to get this part, couldn't find the part, so I ordered it on my phone. And I stood there until the guy came down the row and was looking for the part, and he found the part, and he walked back up there and turned it in, and my phone goes, bleep, you can pick up your part. So I had already paid for it with my card, so I just walked up and picked it up and walked out. I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's how I got to get help. But anyway,
That is what you got to do.
yeah, I mean, anyway, go ahead, Rick.
Okay, this is the bottom part. This is what's called a tipper. This
Oh,
is-
yeah.
Yeah, this is a whole lot heavier than this stuff that you'll see in even DX Engineering for vertical antennas. This is by an outfit in Tennessee called Pinninger Radio, and this is going to be the base of my Hex Beam installation. This thing will go on, I'm going to put it on a 6x6 piece of lumber, which I bought from Home Depot last week. This will go up at the top. It's an 8-foot piece of 6x6, which I'm going to bury 4 feet in the ground and put the other 4 feet above and attach this to it. I got to go get the bolts for it tomorrow at Home Depot or Ace Hardware or someplace. And I'll get this puppy attached. And then I've got two. I want to show you something. Look how thick this stuff
Oh, my
is.
God.
Yes.
You could use that for a shotgun barrel.
That's what I was just thinking. I saw that and I was
Yeah.
like, damn, we could get some
like-
big ball bearings and I could make a pretty nice weapon out of this.
That's about 70 caliber, I think.
Yeah, but the damn thing, this is 3/8 inch thick wall. This
Oh
is
my
made out of
God.
aluminum.
Yeah.
And the next piece up is also 3/8, and then I went down to a 1/4 inch thick on the one that's going to be just under the rotor, and then I'll put the rotor up The rotor will be up at about 20 feet, and then the antenna will be directly above that. But
So, what was that called? Pinnacle what?
Pinninger, Pinniger, Penninger radio. Uh, they're in Tennessee. And the way I found about it is uh, I found a link from it from Max Gain Systems, and I used to do a lot. I still do a good bit of business with Max Gain up in Marietta, Georgia. I know the guy that runs that, so because he used to hit a lot of the Atlanta Ham Fests and everything. But anyway, this is how I discovered this. But I can't find anything this heavy anywhere in any of the ham radio stores. But this is like really heavy masting. He sells them in 8 foot. You could probably get them in 20-inch, 20-foot pieces. But getting those bad boys shipped is a major hassle. But
Wow.
anyway, this guy is, like I said, this is just the base. The clamps that they have for putting these pieces sections together are something else again. You may have seen these in some of these things the cities and counties are doing, because they install this stuff too. But I've got three 12-inch clamps. Like I said, I'm only going to go up about 20 feet with this thing, and it's going to be guide, but it's going to be pretty seriously heavy enough that I can put this Hex Beam up and probably not have to worry about it. Now, I don't think I'd leave it up in a hurricane, but see, that's the other part of this. All I got going to have to do is loosen these 4 guys up and just slowly let it down, because there's a pulley section that's going to be on the top. We can just let it down. I may have to go get a winch to do it, but I'll be able to let the antenna down and take the top antenna off, and the hurricane goes by, and I'll put it right back up. So
There you go.
anyway, but yeah, that looks like a major weapon, doesn't it?
It does.
That's
It's crazy. Wow, it's something else.
Yeah. So
That's that is in a major bracket there and a major hole. I mean, you're not going to mess with that.
No, I don't think so.
You're going to have the first Cat 4 rated hex beam.
I can tell you this shit isn't cheap. But
Well, there you go.
yeah, but it's a lot cheaper than putting a tower up.
All right. Any questions for Rick or Dave on anything they had?
I might take some pictures of this as I put it up.
Do you have everything now, or are you still waiting on some of it?
I think I've got everything I need, except what I need from the Home Depot or Ace Hardware, depending on where I go.
All right. Well, if you need a hand, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll stop by. I mean, I'll help you with it.
Yeah.
I love putting up antennas.
Oh yeah. What ham doesn't?
Yeah, the weather's. I will tell you guys. Saturday, tomorrow, it's going to be some of the best weather you'll ever see in your life. Sunday's going to be nasty.
Sunday's gonna suck. So
yeah, we've got an aluminum alert issued for Saturday. So
an aluminum alert?
Yeah, I made that up myself. I've been using
okay.
that for a couple months now. Remember that last windstorm we had? I went on all the nets and told them it was an aluminum alert coming. And they're all like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, from now on, if I issue an aluminum alert, that means watch your antennas, boys, because the wind's coming."
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to get mixed up with a silver alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many alerts now, it's hard to lose track. It's hard to keep track. It's like, okay, and there's like 9 different reasons for each porch light color now. And it's like, oh, you got a blue porch light, that's for police. Oh, no, that's for autism awareness. Oh, no, wait, that's for leukemia. Oh, no, wait, that's for... Oh, my God, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. And it's fine.
Okay, because I was going to... If you drop that on your foot, it's going to break your foot off.
Yeah, I probably will. You'll probably hear some of those 7 words that George Carlin talked about on Can't Say on Radio.
It'll end up breaking the floor.
You guys realize the 7 dirty words were down to 3 I can't say on the radio. Anyway, if
even with inflation?
Yeah, even with inflation, it's a good deal. All right, so let's see. Does anybody have anything else they want to show us or update us on any projects that you're working on or anything like that before we move on to the next section?
I got one more.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Let me switch my mic on. Okay. If you can't, I've been sick and I missed a couple of your things, but I've been watching them online. But if you remember, just before Christmas, I think the meeting before Christmas, we were talking about what would your wish list for Christmas be?
Yeah.
Well, I had something radio related for Christmas that I think is really, really cool, and it would never ever be on my, and I don't think it would be on anybody else's Christmas wish list. And I won't show it to you because I've just bought a frame for it. My stepdaughter bought me a copy of the original patent for Samuel Morse for Morse code.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just what I said. I thought it was really
That's
cool.
something pretty cool to have around. Yeah, I
Isn't
like
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good gift to give. So it's not expensive. It'd be a pretty good gift. And it's blue, you know, that blue-grey like they used to
Right.
do the original patents on. I've just bought a frame for it. I'm going to frame it and put it up. Well, we'll frame it and put it up on the wall, and then I'll take a picture of it. But I thought that would never be on anybody's list, and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
That is really cool. I mean, that's something really cool that's very relevant to what we do.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. All right. Anything else before the main topic? Okay. All right. So tonight, what we're going to do is I'm going to just pull up what I've been working on here. We're going to go through it. This may take 10 or 15 minutes. This may take an hour, however long. I just want to get everyone's input. I was actually kind of hoping for a larger crowd tonight. When you're trying to create something, it's best to try to create the best thing to start with by getting a lot of people involved before it actually starts, so that it's not one guy's idea that then gets tested in real life. This way, it's a conglomerate of all of our thoughts that we're going to test. So I want you guys to help me with this. It's something that that's kind of become near and dear to me. I joined Aries originally, and I was gonna do the Aries stuff, but they really don't do a lot, and it's mostly just going to shelters and reporting shelter numbers, and that's pretty much the bottom line. Something that's rarely activated, and I don't. Here's the bottom line: after a storm, you can still call Aries and report your damage. You can still work with Aries. None of that matters. You don't have to be an Aries member to work with them. Nor do I have anything against Aries. I think it's a great program, and I think it works well. And I think there's plenty of people involved in it already. And that's why I kind of decided I want to start something different. I want to do something different. So I kind of took a little bit from Aries, and I took a little bit from the Hurricane WatchNet, if you guys aren't familiar. Hey, Joseph's coming in. Hello, Joseph. If you guys, Joseph's moving, so I wasn't even sure if he's coming tonight or not.
I'm here.
He literally got the last load the heck out of Dodge yesterday, I think. Yeah. What's up,
I'm
buddy?
here. I can't stay long because I'm on cell data, but I just want to pop in and say hi to everybody.
That's cool. Yeah, I was just telling him you are on the way out. I think you got your last load, didn't you?
Yeah, last load that I'll be coming down for. We have like a couple trailers here, but they're gonna be brought up by different people. So that last trip for me.
There
So
you go.
you in Fort Myers or in Huntsville?
In between right now. We're on the road right now.
Oh, okay.
We are 2 hours and 30 minutes from Dothan, Alabama,
Okay.
which is not far past the border. So
Yeah, I know where that.
we got about another 166 miles to go. And then we'll be up for the night, and we're going to see tomorrow.
If I had to guess, I'd say you're sitting at a gas station.
Yep, we're at a Love's Travel Center. We just got some for,
Somewhere in Alabama.
What's that one? What's that one that's coming across the country now with the big beaver? What's that one? Big beaver something? Man.
I don't know what you.
Bucky's. It's called Bucky's.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing their billboards.
Let me tell you what. I stopped at a Bucky's, and it's cool. You got to do a Bucky's if you're out traveling. It's like a travel center. It's literally I don't know. It's like a Wawa on steroids. I mean, it's they got like 5 different areas serving hot food and different things, and their brisket sandwich is amazing. So
See,
anyway,
the problem with these places like Bucky's and a couple others is that they advertise a lot along the highway, and then when you actually get there, it's just jam packed, extremely busy. And we have driving this big old U-Haul, so trying to get in a spot to fill up in that big old truck is impossible. We went to a Busy Bee, which is similar,
yeah,
probably not quite as big, but they advertise so much along the highway, and you get here and it's just completely full. I mean, you
yeah.
can't even use it.
Like
Well, sometimes I get off for one gas station. I get fuel at a different one because I won't wait in line for gas. I get back on the interstate and keep going.
get away with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Joseph, you're going to get there just in time for the ice storm too.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'm supposed to be go seeing a friend of mine who's a ham. We were going to build some antennas, but I'm worried now that if this ice storm comes, I'm going to be not able to go.
Well, not this weekend, that's for sure.
I don't know. Maybe it might be not as bad, or maybe.
Hey, Joseph.
Yeah.
When you're traveling like that, look for a Flying J, because they have RV lanes which are separate from the regular car lanes. They're off to one side of the lot, and they're wide and they're big, and you can fill your trucks up real easy. There are a lot of trucks pulling in, not semi trucks. They got their own lanes, but guys with smaller trucks pulling there all the time.
Oh yeah, we went there. We went to one last trip, and yeah, we used the gas version because the U-Haul takes gas, and we were amazed at how fast the pump was. It was like it was incredible.
Yeah, it's a commercial vehicle gas pump.
Yeah.
A little more volume. Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad things are going well, and you're almost done with the move, so you can start getting your shack put together up there.
And enjoy
Yeah.
snow and ice in Huntsville.
And
Yeah.
I'll mention, since he's here, because he may be doing this again here for this next ice storm, he did some live broadcasting on the TechNet YouTube channel during that last storm that came through, and there was tornadoes and lightning and wind, and then eventually snow, and we got a lot of subscribers and likes and stuff, and it really helped our algorithm. But when he had that going on there, I was kind of surprised the number of people that were watching it. But not only that, I listened to quite a bit of the traffic on the amateur radio bands up there, and that's actually what gave me the idea to go ahead and do this right away, and not because I wasn't really sure exactly how I wanted this to be. And then when I heard the Huntsville guys on the repeater up there,
all right, I'm ready to go.
and that storm's coming through, and they're getting 50-mile-an-hour winds and everything else, and those guys are checking in with each other. Are you okay, Bob? Yeah, I'm okay over here. The wind's blowing pretty bad. I'm on generator power now. Okay. All right, good. Ted, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay over here. And they were checking in with each other and welfare checking each other during the storm. And I kind of was warned by them. Like, that's amateur radio, man. Staying up during the storm. I don't mean with a big antenna outside getting lightning struck. I mean on a repeater that we can hit with an indoor antenna. I'm actually in the process of building a 440 antenna that I'm going to mount inside my house in my spare bedroom and have it pointing at the 775. And I'm going to wire it into the shack, so that way I can be on that, and I can have my mic in my hand and be connected to that and be relatively sure that I'm not going to get struck by lightning. Because as you guys know, as we talked about last week, you're connected to the radio's connected to the antenna. I mean, you can do the math on that. It'll come right through that little piece of plastic and get you. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to be up during the storm. I was listening to them out Skywarn. The mobile guys were checking in with each other with Skywarn guys. And I'm like, I'm Skywarn trained, but nobody down here does anything with Skywarn. Our Aries group really doesn't do anything with Skywarn. We could it's something our group could do. We could do the Skywarn training ourselves right here, and we get everybody Skywarn trained. It's no big deal. It's really easy.
Not a big deal.
Uh, it isn't a big deal. I think there's several of us that are already Skywarn qualified with Ruskin. So basically, all we have to do is get that set up, get a communications method established with the Hurricane WatchNet, establish communications with our Aries team here on the 2 meter, and we're all set to go. We can do anything we need to do. And then you add HF WinLink and things like that to it.
Oh, my burger.
Do what?
My burger started sliding around.
Oh, goodness.
I got it. It's okay now.
Along here with Joseph.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Joseph, you want me to go ahead and mute you, Joseph, so that you can drive?
Oh, I'll just mute myself.
Okay.
Right,
I mean, I can do it. I didn't want you to have to do it while you were driving, but we're going to hear the road noise. If you got anything, just let us know. Anyway, I do appreciate you coming in. I know you got to go out soon, short time, with the cell data and all that. I did about an hour and a half Zoom meeting, and it was 1 gigabyte of cell data, which is what my tethering limit was. So yeah. Anyway, all right, there we go. Let's see the next thing. So the Southwest Florida WatchNet. I got this for you guys to look at, and I want you to comment directly on this document, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is the kind of cooperative effort that I want to do. If you go to our website and you look at the live tab, underneath the live tab on our website, on the TechNet website, it actually has a, you'll see a live tab. Click LiveNet. If you click that tab, actually click on the tab itself that says LiveNet, and it will bring up a Google document. In that Google document, you'll see there where I've got Southwest Florida WatchNet working document. If you click
Share
on
your
that,
screen.
I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to, but I'm telling you guys before I do that how to get to this document. But here I can go ahead. Let me do that. Let me put this over here and let me share my screen. Let's see here. Share screen. There it is. And okay. All right, here we go. But yeah, if you just click this the live button right here, just click on that, and it will bring up this page right here. And if you go down, the link is right here. It's this link right here. If you click on that link, it will bring you to this document. That's the actual document that we're going to be using tonight on the TechNet. It is the basically the working document. Anytime, you guys have to remember, I was in government for a long time, and anytime we did a new program or a new policy or a new procedure, we would lay it out like this. We would start putting down what are all the things I need to address, and then I would go through and I would address them all. And that's kind of what I've done here. You can see this is a number of pages long, but I want to make sure people understand where we're coming from. So if you can't see this or you don't want to do this, you can actually do it on the actual document using that link. Here's the thing. After tonight's over, you guys can go through that document and you can add notes to it. It allows you to add notes to it. And then when I go in, it'll highlight and put a thing on the side and show me your note. And I can go in and make the changes. So it's kind of a working document, so we can all participate. Okay, tonight, basically we're going to talk about this WatchNet. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down. I'm going to go fairly quick because I know this might bore some of you. I'm sorry. There's 11 of us in now. The numbers are coming up. I appreciate that, guys. Remember, building something new takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of time and a lot of planning. And so I want you guys to help me with a little bit of this tonight. I'll try not to make it boring. First off, this is not Aries or Races. What I'm doing here has nothing to do with Aries or Races. I'm not going to be using their logos or any of that stuff. What we're doing is completely separate from them. We work with them, we respect them, and we will yield anything to them that they need. But we're not them. And I think it's important to understand that if someone calls us and says, let emergency management know something, our response to them is going to be, please call them yourself on 2 meters. Can you do that? If you can't, I'll relay for you. because I don't want to get in the business of relaying Aries traffic. That's not what we're doing. Don't want to grate on those guys. I don't want to upset them. I want this to be something that's a positive thing for the community and not something that conflicts with something we already have working well. So basically, our purpose is to establish continuous communication with radio amateurs before, during, and after a local or regional actual or forecast event of magnitude, but not necessarily to relay information to EOC, emergency management, or Aries or Races. Those guys have their own thing going. If you need to tell them something, you call them and tell them, and then come back over to us and say, okay, I'm back on the net, guys. I just had to go over to Aries and give my damage report. We work alongside and separate with them. Further, we aim to facilitate communications between radio amateurs and cutoff individuals at point outside the affected area using various means, including HF WinLink, HF Digital, and HF Voice. Our operations will always take place outside any frequency or repeater pairs that are being utilized or on standby for use by any local government, Aries team, or emergency management for any operations. In other words, if we're on the 775 and Aries pops up and says, hey man, this is EOC, we need this channel, we're gone. We'll find another one. We're not gonna get in their way. Those guys have priority. This is gonna be something in addition to that. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that so far? I want to make that clear. Notice it's the very first thing I make clear here is that we're not Aries, and I don't want to step on toes. Okay, this same thing we're doing is done in other places, and it's done just like we're doing it here, alongside and separate from Aries. Okay, purpose. The purpose is to prepare for disaster, weather calamity, or civil unrest. I want to mention, a lot of times I will just use the vernacular storm. Okay, if I say storm, it's just for simplicity. It could mean riot, it could mean whatever. It could be anything. I like the word calamity. It's something that's not used in this country a lot. Did you guys know in many other countries, in Europe and in Canada and places like that, there's places that actually call emergency management calamity management and Department of Calamity. So I kind of like that word because I've actually seen people with uniforms that have those badges on them, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Calamity. Okay, but it is a good word because it describes basically any impending or happening disaster. We will prepare for disaster, weather calamity, or civil unrest through participation in training. This is just like Aries, except we're not going to have a bunch of in-person meetings and all that. This is going to be easy stuff. We're going to have a little radio net once a week just to make sure we're all good with the 440. We can all test our storm antennas and things like that. And I'm going to do it on a night and a time that we do not compete with any of the other nets in town. Again, I don't want to do any of that. In fact, I'm a great supporter of radio nets. You guys know that. In fact, I'm featuring the bucket and quarter net tonight. It's big again this week, wasn't it, Rick? There was a lot of people on there this week. It's a big, great net. It's tied in with four repeaters now. So yeah, on 2 different bands. So yeah, I'm loving it. Was an idea that I gave them, and I really tried to get that going, and they did get it going, and it's great. To test and ensure readiness of communications equipment before the storm arrives, to monitor 2-meter call and the operating repeater to provide local information as requested. I find it distressing that when I go to Tennessee or when I go to Georgia, I get on 2-meter call, I get answered every time. I come down here, nobody monitors 2-meter call. I don't know what it is. I am planning to get some additional radio equipment here. So I want to start monitoring 2-meter call here at the shack all the time. It's I don't have it on right this second. It's sometimes I do put one of my radios on it, but it's kind of a thing that I do when I have a spare radio. I'm actually going to put up a radio just for 2-meter call. I'll just leave it on there all the time. I want to monitor that during the storms so that people know they can get help on there. If you go to 2-meter call, let's say you're a ham radio guy from Miami and you're evacuating the storm. We're activated, but yet the storm, the worst of it's hitting on the other coast. we can be there to help provide local information to these people. They're going to be wondering what's open, where can I get gas, what's going on. We will be able to provide that information in some instances, or at least steer them in the right direction. I have a lot of resources, and I also know of a lot of resources. Besides that, and we're going to talk about this in just a minute, but I'm going to be looking for other net controllers besides me, and we're going to trade off every hour and switch net controllers. I'm looking to get 4 or 5 different people, so that when we activate, if I'm at work, someone else can activate and take net control. This is going to be a cooperative effort. It's something I can't always do every time. I'm going to take 2 or 3 weeks a year and go to my cabin. During those weeks, I will not be here to activate it. I can still send out the emails and get you going, but someone's got to be down here to run the radio net. So I'm going to be asking you guys to help me with that. I know some of you guys are in range, some like Joseph, most definitely out of range. But we'll see how that goes. I know for Dave, I'm sure the 775 is way too far of a reach for down there. But that doesn't mean that in the future we can't have a Collier and a Lee WatchNet that work with each other. You see what I mean? And we have a common frequency that we will contact each other on using Yankees. I want to get into all of that. I want to work with neighboring counties. I want to start watch nets in every county. I want this to become a network of things. I build networks. When I was a paranormal researcher, I built a network called the White Noise Paranormal Network. And I had 13 teams on there, and everything was going great. There was some changes in network broadcasting and things like that that ended up causing the demise of my show. But truth is, we were doing great. We had a lot of teams involved. So I'm good at building networks. When I was on the fire department, I built networks that involved other stations and other firefighters and other disciplines coming in and working together and doing things. I'm always a big cooperation guy. I've always kind of been somebody that feels like the more people we can get involved in something, the better. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. And the one time we need each other the most is during a hurricane, where your internet's down. But you can call me, my internet's up. I have redundant internet. I have 2 internets. Most of you have 2 internets. You need to get tethering turned on your phone, and you need to get it set up and get your computer set up to where it can connect to it. That way, I'm going to tell you guys, this is something people don't think about. Weather's coming in, you need to get on the internet. You throw your phone in a Ziploc bag, you set it to tether to be a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you go sit it outside on something outside, or you hang it from a light pole in that Ziploc bag. And now that phone will sit out there and it can connect to further towers because it's not inside your house, and it can provide Wi-Fi to you inside the house, and you can get on the internet. That's how I stay on the internet up at my cabin. My phone stays in a Ziploc bag hanging on the banister with the charger wire going down in the bag. And I have to put a drip loop in it so the water doesn't get down in the bag. It's crazy, but it works. So these are the kind of things that I'm looking at. Okay, basic operation. When the Southwest, let me finish up here, my bad. During the storm, we're going to maintain the WatchNet as the storm approaches and events unfold. To monitor and maintain an on-demand net during any calamity of the event. Now, I want you guys to understand something. When I say we're going to run a net, that doesn't mean that you got to fill air. This isn't broadcast radio. It's an on-demand net. What that means is we're going to take check-ins, see who's out there, and then we'll say, okay, we'll be standing by for traffic. And then we'll let the frequency drop and we'll stand by for traffic. Every 15 minutes, Net Control will come on and announce, this is KO4 EFS Net Controller for the Southwest Florida Watch Net, and looking for any check-ins that have joined us since the last time we were on the air. Okay, I got 2 new check-ins. All right, thank you for being here. And is there anyone that has anything they want to relay or any information? No? Okay, we're going back to standby mode. And we'll wait 15 more minutes. Okay, we're back here. New information arriving from NOAA. Here's what we have. Storm this, do that. Intensification this. Okay, now taking new check-ins. So you guys can kind of see how it's going to work. It's an on-demand net. You can call Net Control at any time during their air times. And Net Control during dead air times can relax and not have to sit there and talk. It's not one of those kind of nets. And then every 15 minutes, there will be traffic on the channel. We'll identify, because we're not talking continuously, we do not need to identify every 10 minutes. You only need to identify every 10 minutes if you're continuously talking. So since we're talking and then we're letting it drop for 5 or 10 minutes, as long as we identify when we start and end again, we'll be fine on the IDing part of it. I've checked this legally, we're fine. As long as I'm speaking to specific people and not broadcasting, I'm allowed to give out weather reports. We can give out local information. We can help hams with whatever we need to help them with, whether it be radio stuff, storm stuff, local information, finding fuel, maps and directions, anything like that can all be done. All that's perfectly legal on ham radio. I've looked at this from a legal standpoint, and what I'm looking to do here is not on any gray areas at all. It's 100% legal. We're going to quickly establish the full range of communication methods following the storm. Like for me, my wire will come down and just lay in the yard. And then after the storm, it's just a matter of 10 minutes. I go out there and pick that wire back up and hang it back up, put everything back up, and I can get my HF WinLink working, and I can hit the server in Texas. And within 10 minutes of the wind dying down, I'm sending and receiving emails on the internet system again with no internet here. So this is a real cool thing, because literally if you call this net, we will be able to send and receive emails for you outside the system, outside the broken system here. We'll be able to actually, if your phone is down, your internet's down, you have no way of letting your family know you're okay. We here at the WatchNet could take care of that for you in some cases, and we'll let you know right away if we can, and boom, we take care of it. Okay, and finally, we're going to begin to relay information as requested to points outside the affected area, and we're going to assist radio amateurs with connections, relays, and assistance as requested and when we're able to. Again, not serving as a relay for Aries unless we're the last resort. Anybody have any questions on the purpose? Okay, either I'm doing something right or I'm doing something really wrong and you guys don't want to tell me. Anyway, basic operation. The Southwest Florida WatchNet will meet, train, plan, practice for operations before, during, and after events of magnitude. When an event or storm of magnitude is forecast for our area or unfolds without warning, the Southwest Florida WatchNet will activate and begin an on-demand information and welfare net. When is it activated? Anytime a storm or potential disaster threatens our area. This is something where Aries is only activated once every 5 years or something, once every 2 years. I don't know, not very often. This is something we would use a lot. I mean, if we had just bad storms coming through and we were listed as being a high classification category for storms for a specific day, and it looks like it's going to hit really hard, we'll activate the WatchNet. We'll send out the email, the text messages will go out. Everybody knows we're on. I'll take the radio if nobody else wants to do it, and we'll just come on with the WatchNet. If nobody comes on, nobody comes on, but at least we're on. We're monitoring 2-meter call and the 775, and we're out there for if people need to talk to us. We can also use this for other things as well, okay? But it's mostly for weather events. We have storms here, like that windstorm we had 2 weeks ago. That got pretty bad. Let me turn down the 685 and the longest IDer in the business. Tell me it's not. But anyway, boy, I forgot, I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, basically, the net will be activated the moment that we realize that there's an impending storm or event that we believe reaches the magnitude that we would normally activate. That windstorm we had, I may have considered activating for that. That was bad. We had 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts up here. I had antennas blowing in the wind. I was taking stuff down. I still don't have all my sticks completely back up yet from that. It's like, and now Sunday we got more wind, but it's not going to be as bad this time. So if let's say we get a hurricane watch, we're going to be watching that. We're going to be watching it. Hurricane warning is issued. Now we're going to set the time. We're going to send out a thing at this time, 1 hour before tropical storm force winds are due to arrive. We're going to activate the net. We're going to get everybody on, get everybody monitoring, and then we'll hunker down and we're going to monitor it together on the net. It'll also be great if you are hunkered down and you cannot get internet or you cannot get phone service or anything like that. If you can get to us on a repeater, and we may monitor multiple repeaters. I'm hoping to get other people on board and a network established. I wouldn't even mind talking about linking some repeaters and things like that. There's a lot we can do with this. I would love to get people in South Lee and even North Collier involved. I would like to get people in Charlotte involved. But all I really have to work with right now is the 775 repeater. I know it's not the highest repeater, but it's a good repeater. But I'll tell you what's great about the 775 repeater. It is at the Lee County Co-op building. I'm pretty sure they got a generator.
Yep.
Pretty sure that one's staying up there in the storm. So that's probably a good one for us to use. But we're all going to be monitoring 2-meter call. And the moment it goes down, we're all going to be on simplex together already. And we can relay with each other. And we'll establish a new pair. I plan to have a list of repeater pairs in order. So if one goes down, you know we're going to go try the next one and the next one and the next one down the list. Like I said, Aries pretty much does not use the UHF stuff. So that I'm trying to stick to that. Besides, and Rick and Dave and some of you guys can tell me if I'm wrong on this. UHF, not affected much by weather, takes a fairly small antenna and has decent performance through windows and things like that. And so I'm thinking because of the availability of repeaters on 440 on UHF, coupled with the fact that you can build you a 10 element Yagi to go in your spare bedroom and stick it on a tripod and shoot it right through a brick wall and talk to the 775 if you're within 20 miles, 15 miles. So I think that UHF might be the thing to do here because a lot of people have two different radios. They can monitor 2-meter on one and the 775 on the other, which is my plan. I figured if we eventually get 10 or 20 people doing this, then we'll hopefully cast a fairly good net where we can hear if people are calling for help on the 2-meter call channel. It's kind of, let me ask you guys a question. What channel, what ham radio channel is the international distress channel?
No such animal.
There isn't, and that's my point. If I were to say, of all the frequencies on ham radio, if you could pick one frequency to make your dying call, what would it be? Well, I can tell you, if it's not down here, it'd probably be 2-meter call. That of all the frequencies anywhere in the world, you're most likely to probably find somebody on simplex, OpenPL.
4652.
Yep, exactly. And I think that we need to put it out there that, look, we're going to monitor this during storm. We're going to make this our, emergency frequency, basically a frequency that we're going to try to monitor, our channel 9, if you will, our Marine 16, if you will.
Yeah, that's the only one that's monitored by the government, Marine 16.
Yes.
That's the only. Yeah.
And
all the rest are.
I mentioned that last week that if you need immediate help from the government and it's a life-threatening situation, you should have channel 16 for Marine channel 16 programmed into all your ham radios, because if it's a life-threatening situation, can call for help on Marine channel and you will not get in trouble if it's life-threatening. Now, if they get there and someone's got a broken wrist, you might have an issue. But of course, like I said, if it's life-threatening, for sure, you're okay. But that, like he said, that's the only frequency that is continuously monitored by a network of receivers around the country 24/7 by the government. That's it. So for our purposes, I think 2-meter call is the only thing, the next best thing. I can't think of anything else that would be a universal channel. So that's kind of where I came up with that. And does anybody have any thoughts on that? Is there other channels I'm forgetting? Is there any other channel with the word emergency or call, disaster call or something that I'm missing?
There is a CB channel 9, but you'd probably not have much luck getting anybody to hear you.
Yeah, again, that's a lot like Marine 16, except it's never monitored by anybody important. Yeah, that would be another one. It would be cool if I was totally set up here one day down the road to get CB9 up somewhere in here and just have it up, because I'm only 3 miles from the interstate, which for a CB is a stretch. But anyway, there's my little hit on CB. I won't do it too hard because I actually kind of like the old gal. But anyway, but yeah, there's just not a lot of emergency frequencies out there, especially in ham radio. Okay, so pre-storm operation. This applies to things where there's basically going to be notice. Okay, we may end up getting the storm of the century is a good example. I don't know who was all down here for the storm of the century. Of course, no matter where you were in the eastern part of the U.S., you probably remember the storm of the century. It was in the late 90s. And
93?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I was
What I call the 1993 snow hurricane. I was in Atlanta for that.
I was a full-time firefighter, but I was off duty that night. I was actually down at the Fort Myers Beach in a green police car, a deputy sheriff car, working for the sheriff's department. I was a part-time deputy, and I was doing transports. They used us part-timer guys to just come down in a car and patrol around until we see something, or if they need somebody to go to the jail, that way the full-time guys didn't have to do it.
That's the first time I ever saw thunder snow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that there was some that the storm of the century was crazy for everybody that was involved all across the whole country. It was a crazy thing. But down here, I'm sitting there and I noticed that a truck is hooking up to the substation. Back then, the substation was actually a tactical trailer that was parked down there at the county park at Lynn Hall Park.
9 p.m.
Which Lynn Hall Park is named after a deputy that was shot and killed there in the line of duty. But anyway, whatever.
You're on one of the 2-meter machines.
Oh my God, they constantly with that. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I noticed they're hooking up the substation and they're leaving the island with it. And so I called up the sergeant. I'm like, they're leaving with the substation. He goes, yeah, there's a really bad storm coming. That was the first I heard about it. 20 minutes later, I said, well, I better go in the 7-Eleven and get me a drink. So I went in the 7-Eleven there across from Lynn Hall Park. And I went inside, I'm talking to the clerk, and I got my drink, and I'm checking out. And it hit the front of that store like, I swear, I thought people were running into the glass, is what it sounded like. And I looked over there, and the reflection of the lights on the glass was doing this. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, this is that storm. They said there was a bad storm coming. I said, I got to get to my car. So I go out there, and this wind's blowing so hard that it blew the lid off of my Big Gulp. And I'm trying to get to the car, and I'm trying to keep some of my drink left, and the rain's coming down, and the sea foam's coming up, and the front of the building is just shaking like crazy. By the time I got in the cop car, got my lights on, got it backed out, and I start to pull out in the road, I can't even see where I'm going. So I flip on my blue lights. I got everything on. I'm pulling out. I'm trying to see. I can't see nothing. Next thing you know, I realize there's water coming in the floorboard of the car. The water's coming up so fast. I'm like, I got to find higher ground. So at this point, I go around Times Square. It's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So I know that Lani Kai has a high spot, right? So I pull into Lani Kai. And I pull up on the high spot and found 2 detectives that found that same high spot. And we're sitting there with our cars. And we end up moving our cars back a little bit because all the pool furniture was flying down that breezeway at about 50 miles an hour and smashing into the wall and smashing and breaking. and all the windows in the bar were smashing out, and people were floating up and down the breezeway and the waves. It was crazy. We ended up saving people that got stuck out there. They were trying to save their sailboats that got out in the water, and the waves pushed them all up under the houses, and they couldn't get out. And we were ripping the stuff away from the houses to get people out from under the houses. It was crazy night. That was storm of the century. The warning was there, but it wasn't that much. We didn't really know that it was going to be that bad. The reason I bring this up, and I'm going to go on, I don't mean to tell a bunch of war stories, but the reason I bring that up was there's an example of one that kind of snuck up on us. That's one I definitely would have been, had the watch net up for. That was a bad storm that crippled this county for days. It was bad. Anyway, storm operation. During storm conditions, on-demand net will remain active when possible. Now, of course, if the last net controller cannot stay on the air, okay. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to do our best. We're going to check in on 15-minute intervals. We can expand that to 30-minute intervals if it's a duration event. The net controller will provide hourly updates to net participants as they're sent from NOAA, state and local emergency management, and local meteorologists. I get information in from all these different sources, just like you guys can get it. But the difference is I'm going to give it out over the radio. So if there's people that can't get it, they'll get it. And I'm going to give the real succinct stuff. It is recommended that you call your county Aries and DEM on the frequencies they've established. We do not do direct relays directly to the EOC unless you cannot find another way to get your message there. Because again, I don't want to step on Aries' toes. But if someone calls us and says, look, I cannot get a hold of the EOC and I have a damage report, I need to get in, we will call and get it into the EOC for you. Of course we will. But only if we are your last resort. Okay, on the spot weather reports, damage reports, condition reports will be taken as offered by net participants. So in other words, as things are going, you can let us know, okay, the winds outside are 50 to 70 miles an hour. I'm getting bad wind gusts, got tree damage outside now, the power's out. You guys we're going to keep each other informed as the night goes on and the storm wears on as to how we're all doing. Basically a companion in the night, in the storm. Some of us live alone. Might be nice to have somebody to talk to when that storm's hitting. We're going to run a roll call at least hourly. If we haven't heard from you in an hour, I may run a roll call. And of course, if the storm's over and we can't get you, we may come check to make sure you're okay. All right. Following the event, we'll stay active as long as the needs persist. Here's the thing. If it's a bad storm and the internet is out in the area and the power's still out for a lot of our participants and things like that, I may keep the net up on demand for days if I need to. We'll trade off the duties, and I'm in for the long haul myself. The neat thing for me is when weather gets really bad, they take my station at work and they connect it to Wink TV. And we all go home and we're done till the storm's over. They don't, I guess for some reason, they don't think that political talk radio guys can handle it or something. I don't know. But, we all know which party's fault it is we're getting these hurricanes, right? Okay, anyway, I'm just kidding. All right, anyway. Come on, that was a joke. There's no politics in weather. There's no crying in baseball. All right, anyway. All right. If cell service is down, we're going to stay up. That's pretty obvious. We can help coordinate assistance between hams and facilitate information on local information, local frequencies, local directories, and any ham that needs it. We're not going to take Aries and emergency management routed messages unless we're the last resort. I'm going to try to stop mentioning that because I've mentioned it 3 times now. I got the channels there for EOC. Those are the 2 most likely going to get EOC on if you want to try that, or you can try the colored channels for your zone. If you're not in this area, I strongly suggest you just check your Aries website. Make sure you've got all those programmed in there. Very handy thing to have. Remember, you can get an ambulance, fire truck, or police car through Aries, through emergency management. It's not a great way. It's not a fast way. It's not the best way, but it's a way. So if your phone's not working and you need an ambulance post-storm, call Aries on the EOC frequency and request an ambulance from the government, and you'll get one. Okay? I mean, like I said, it's going to take a few extra minutes, but dispatch is right there in the next building. I mean, they'll get the thing to you. But again, that should be done directly with Aries if at all possible and not through us. Non-Aries radio amateurs are welcome to submit damage reports and requests for help and assistance. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Aries trains and they have members and they give out numbers and all that. But you ever notice they always ask for other participants at the end of every one of their nets?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can participate with Aries, guys. You can do their drills, whether you're Aries or not. Next time, Stephen, or the guys up in Charlotte with CC Flares, or the guys down in Collier call a drill, participate. You don't have to be a member of Aries to participate. Call in your damage report. Send it an email to your e-commerce coordinator for your Aries, and let them know to send you the drills that you want to do them, and they'll do that with you. You don't have to join Aries. And when they're doing anything, you're always welcome to check in. Amateur radio is supposed to be an inclusive thing, and it usually is. After a major storm or hurricane where trees are damaged, this is a really cool thing that I learned after Andrew. I responded to Andrew. I arrived in Florida City the morning after. Literally, as the sun was rising, we were coming down 997, which is Chrome. That's the road that comes down through Homestead and goes right into Florida City. Okay. We pulled in there. The self-standard 500-foot transmitter towers were laying down across the highway. It wasn't that the infrastructure was ripped off the power poles. The poles were missing. I'm telling you guys, I've never seen anything like Hurricane Andrew. It was literally a 40-mile wide tornado is what it was. And it came through it looked like Cat 5 damage. Okay. I've never seen anything like that before. But one thing I learned from that storm, we got down there was no trees left. The big, huge trunk would go up, and then it was just shattered like that, and that's it. There was no branches, no trees, no power lines, no big buildings, no nothing left. I mean, the few buildings that were there were left, but they were badly damaged and unpowered. There was no electricity anywhere except where there was a few generators running. VHF radio would go much further than it normally would during a storm. I would go down to Citro Capacito, which is south of, and I'm not even 100% sure I pronounced that right. That's the way they pronounced it. But it was south of Florida City down there. You just before you get on US 1, you take a right, you go down, it's further down that way. And we got down there, and it's like single family homes, and they were all destroyed. And I was working down there in the little mass unit we had down there for like 3 days, and we had no communication with anybody. I realized my 100-watt Meritrack Motorola radio, which was a trooper radio, man. Oh, it's the best ever. That radio, if I parked in a certain spot, I could key it up and talk to dispatch in Lee County. And it was about 146 miles, I think, as the bird flies. And every day I could just pull right in that spot. The Control Bayshore 4. I got a report that I need you to relay to Homestead Command. And they would be able to relay my information back up, and I could get it to Florida City Command, which is where it ultimately needed to go. And it was really cool. And so what I'm basically telling you guys is, as the power goes down, as the infrastructure fails, as the trees lose their leaves, all these things lend to help communication. So don't think of, after the storm, we're going to be screwed. No, after the storm, you're going to find that your equipment works a lot better than it normally does, as long as you protected it from the wind. So there's the bottom line on that. Any questions or comments? All right, real quick, let's just move through this. Operating frequencies. I'm going to use the 775 repeater. I'm open to suggestions. if someone thinks we should use something else. I'm
I think
also
you should
open.
have another one as a backup in the event that one goes down.
We are, and I'm looking for suggestions on that. I'm
Yeah.
also thinking about maybe I get some net controllers in South Fort Myers and we start up another one down there and we run 2 different repeaters, all monitoring 2-meter call using 2 different UHF repeaters, and then we'll have a means to stay in contact between the 2 net controllers. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do with this, but for right now, this is what I have. I don't know, Rick, are you okay into the 775?
Yeah. Not a
Yeah, you
problem.
don't have any problems with it. I know it's too far for Dave because it's not up 600 feet. It's only up like 80 feet or something. So I know that we're not going to get that even with a Yagi. So I don't know about Bill or Jonathan. I don't know if either one of you guys can make it to the 775 in North Fort Myers. Anyway, that's what we're looking at there. Alerts. Alerts will be sent by a designated net controller when it's determined that we're activating the net. Let's say Rick and I and Dave are net controllers. We're the 3 net controllers that do this. Okay, we've all signed on and we do this. I call up Dave. I said, Dave, this storm's looking pretty bad. Rick, hey man, this storm's looking pretty bad. I'm thinking about activating tonight. We talk about it. We figure it out. Okay, good. Who's going to take the first hour? And it's just like, it's a cooperative thing. If you guys aren't available or whatever, I'll do it, as long as I'm not working or whatever. So it's a cooperative thing, but I'm going to talk to my net controllers and we'll kind of get a feel for when we need to start this thing. If it's an emergency and it comes on quick and we have a really bad afternoon where it's really, really bad, if I decide, hey man, I'm going to activate this on an emergency basis, you guys will get the alerts. Everybody will get the alerts. Everybody dials on. Everybody calls up. Hey, I'm here. And we're all on for our Skywarn. Okay. Alerts are going to be cool. I'm doing alerts through email. But here's the cool thing about that. If you give me your cell carrier and your cell phone number, I can send the alert directly to your text. And I've got the link in here how to do that if you're interested. It's pretty cool if you've never done it. It's basically you send the email to like your phone number at verizon.com or whatever. And it's not that, but it's close to that. And it will go to that. But I need to know what carrier you're with in order to do it. But that way I can set up as many email addresses as you want. So that way I can make sure your email gets it, your phone gets it, your text gets it, whatever. And I'm going to also use that to put out alerts and different things. I may even set up automatic alerts at some point where if storm warnings are issued for our area, they'll go out automatically on that network. And then at that point, we can get together and decide if we're going to activate or not. Frequency list standardization. I am a 100% believer in standardization. And since we're not competing with anybody here, I've decided that the best thing we can do is to continue to use the Aries standard frequency list that we have here in Lee County. It's got the Collier, the Charlotte, and the Henry County frequencies on it. I think it even has a Henry or a DeSoto on it. The Aries standard frequency list is it's a good list. If you guys don't have that, all you have to do to find that list, and I had it here too, so I could show you guys. All you got to do to find that list is go to Google and type in Aries standard frequency list, and it will come right up. Let's see here. I'll show you. I didn't even type in Lee County because that's exactly what they call it. But if you type in Lee County, I know it'll come up. But the Lee County standard frequency list, you click it, and this is it. And it's all the frequencies that we use here. If you're going to call EOC, you're going to use these here. And the only other one that's regularly monitored besides those is 20 and 22.
Yeah.
Those two will also be monitored. Other than that, none of this gets monitored at all during a storm. So we're going to be down here on the 775, which is channel 34 at the North LCEC. The reason I'm using this list is because, guys, I believe in standardization. If we're going to be working alongside Aries and working with the hams in this county, channel 10 needs to be channel 10. I think it just makes sense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a Southwest Florida WatchNet expanded frequency list. And what that's going to be is this exact list with no changes. I'm just going to add channels. Notice there's spaces.
Yeah.
There's a space here. You get down here, it goes, there's some spaces between 36, there's 37, 38, 39, and then there's a lot of space down here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to complete it all the way up to 200. It's going to have all the GMRS, the FRS. I've already got it built. I'm just finalizing it now. And I've got it set in chirp. So all you got to do is take this and just copy it from my chirp program into yours, into your one that you download from your radio, and click send, and you're all set to go. Mine's going to have like the fire frequencies so you can monitor fire. It's going to have Marine Channel 16. It's going to have all the different things that you might need along the way during an emergency, along with all of the Aries standard frequency. And I believe, yeah, there's Collier. Dave, I don't know if there's any errors on this. We need to let Steve know, but there's all the Collier frequencies that we have listed for you guys down there.
Yeah, I'm just looking actually. Oh, I see now. 661 is actually a analog and digital. That's a fusion repeater.
Oh.
But it's analog as well. Oh, but you've got a 6.
Our Health Park one is the same way. It's a fusion repeater, but it's got analog on it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, some of those are private though. They're individually owned.
Right. Well, this list is all the available repeaters that they basically know are going to be up and available during a storm. Just because they're on this list does not mean they're ones that Aries uses.
Yeah.
This is just a standard list. For our Aries, they use basically 1 through 10. And then, like I said, they use 20 and 22. Because 20 is that fusion repeater at Health Park, and 22 is that blowtorch up on the north end of the county up here. 600 feet, 100 watts. It's a blowtorch. So they listen to those too. But other than that, the rest of these are all just listed for people to use. There is all these right here. These UHF ones are pretty much not used. Like even the Sanibel one, they don't ever use that. It's never used. It's not linked to the VHF one. I've suggested to them out there, hey, maybe link it to the VHF. At least it'll get some use. I know the D-Star, the W4LCO D-Star link is up. Last I heard at the EOC.
Sorry.
And of course, SARnet. Everybody should have SARnet in your radios. It's a good thing to listen to during storms. I actually am going to stream SARnet. I stream SARnet now on Broadcastify, but during storms, I'm going to also stream it on YouTube, like I did before. And then, yeah, you got but see, there's not a lot of them here. There really isn't. I don't know anything about this one. Do you know anything about that one, Rick? 31?
4675. That may be okay, that's a fusion repeater.
So it's just a fusion repeater then.
Yeah, I think that's just a fusion repeater. And those two come up when they have the fusion net right after the 220 net. And both of them are active at the same time. So they're linked together. Okay, that's our FM analog.
That's ours there now. But here's the thing. There's not really that many other ones to go to.
Yeah.
I clicked this one and it worked about a year ago.
Yeah, okay. That's FMARC.
That's club owned, so I mean we could use it.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard that one, but sure give it a try.
But you can see where I really don't have a lot of options here.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of options. The LCEC VHF one is being used up here. It's the blue channel repeater.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can experiment with some things like 6 meters and 220 also if we want to.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. 220 is just hard because most people don't have a mobile rig with 220,
rig.
and a lot of people don't have anything with 220. So, and the 220 is currently linked to a bunch of repeaters, but I'm under the understanding when Aries activates, that repeater link will come down,
Yeah.
which seems to me the time when you would need it most, but I get it because it's probably going to fail anyway with the internet.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. It's one of those things, 6 one half dozen the other.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, okay, any questions on the Aries standard frequency list? All right. Real quick, let's finish this up and then I'm going to move on. The Skywarn, I want to eventually establish a link with Skywarn and do our Skywarn stuff with them through what we're doing. And YouTube Broadcastify and Police Scanner. When available, we're also going to simulcast our net activities. I do not expect net controllers to have the ability or the desire to broadcast on YouTube or anything else. I'll take care of all that. I will have the ability to dial in remotely to my home and start this stuff up remotely. So even if, like, let's say, Rick, you're taking net control, we got a bad storm moving in, but I'm stuck at the station. You can activate the net. I can send out the alerts, and then I can go on and set the YouTube broadcast remotely, and you just work the radio net. That's all you have to do. And keep in contact with people, provide info, help out if you can. That's really all there is. It's nothing to it. We're not dispatching ambulances. Time base, we will use local time. Could not find any reason to use Zulu time. I mean, there's just no reason to. It's a local net about local storms, local recovery. So local time.
The only thing I would suggest is that we use military time, but maybe not everybody understands that, but whatever.
Yeah, I definitely prefer military time, and we don't need to give the time a lot. So my big thing is when I'm giving out storm stuff, I'm going to convert it all to Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we get from NOAA and things like that comes in Greenwich Mean Time or in Zulu time.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna translate what I give out so that it's at least in standard time, if not military time. Any licensed amateur operator that is equipped for the task can be a net controller. I'm looking for a lot of people to sign up. You do not have to be a YouTube broadcaster. You do not have to have cameras. You do not have to do any of that. All I'm looking for is radio net people that can get this thing going, and they can spell me when I'm, here doing it for long periods of time. All you need to be net controller is the ability to monitor 2 simultaneous channels, and to be able to run a basic net.
This is a scanner alert. 1,660 people listening to Passaic Fire Dispatch, Passaic County, New Jersey, 8:30 p.m. Active
Wow, there
event,
must be a fire
building
going
fire.
in New Jersey right now. I just got a scanner alert. If you guys have never done those police scanner alerts, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is download the thing for your phone that makes it read back to you all the warnings, all of the messages that comes in. I got a program for for blind people, and what it does is it reads everything that comes into my phone for me. So my phone will constantly say, like, new Gmail from Rick K4RAB. It'll say that. If I get an email from you, it'll actually say it, new email and who it's from. If I get a text, if I get any message, if there's a storm alert, a scanner alert, a weather alert, a space weather alert, anything, it comes into that phone and it's read to me audibly. And I love it. I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever set up. Okay, so anyone can be a net control station, and that's it. And then I just got all my qualifications at the bottom there. But that's pretty much the entire thing in a nutshell. Does anybody have anything they want to add at this point? Okay, I know a lot of people don't like to add or criticize in public, and that's great. I appreciate that. What I ask that you do is look at the form, go in there and pull the form up. Anywhere you see where I'm out of line or it may not work or you've got a better idea, I really do want to hear it. I'm not one of these type A jerks that asks for input and then argues with you about it. I I really want it, and I'll probably take it, to be honest with you. I take most input that I can incorporate. And I really want to get this thing as good as I can get it, so that when I get it put out there, it works right off the bat, because we're going to be coming into storm season soon. All right, so what you do is you could literally highlight something in here, and when you highlight it, this will pop up over here, and you can add a comment. You see that? That's all you do. You click that, and now look, you're adding a comment about that sentence. And you write a comment, and it shows me who wrote the comment, and then what I can do is either respond to the comment, or I can send a directly message to you about the comment, or I can put it in there. Okay, I fixed it. I put it in. I did it. So that way you guys can put in as much input as you would like. Okay, enough of that. Let's, I need to take just a couple minute break. I left my drink inside, and I'm starting to really get dry. So I'm going to run in and get that. So let's take about a 2-minute break. We'll take it real quick. And then when we come back, we're going to do headlines and the news and space weather. We've got in radio, you're supposed to tease. Right after the break, we've got a big solar complex coming around the western limb. Don't miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right. I want to go get my I'm getting dry myself.
Ooh. All right. There we go. Much better. Oh, I just got a National Weather Service bulletin from Duane and CC Flares.
What does it say?
I don't know. I'm trying to pull it up. I'll put it up for you guys.
We got
Here it
stuff
is.
coming in tonight?
No, it's tomorrow night. No, because tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. This just dropped. They just sent it to me. I'll scroll it up. There we go.
Have to look at the SPC.
Wow, somebody's really giving a hell out there.
Yeah.
A long duration coastal flooding event. Really? That's a lot of wind. The models have every day. The models are showing higher and higher winds for Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. Wow.
I think
Where is that for?
This is for the Tampa Bay area. So this is north of us, a little bit north of us. We probably won't get it quite as bad as what this is saying. Charlotte, I think, is in the area that this covers. I don't think Lee is. But anyway, we're under a coastal flood watch for Saturday evening coming up through Sunday evening for Pinellas County northward along the Nature Coast. Okay, well, okay, whatever. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I certainly don't think we're going to get the wind event that we got the last time. That was a bad wind event that we got. Just what was it, a couple weeks ago? That was a bad wind event. All right, let me get back to where I was here. All right. Oops. There we go. Oh, there. That's the button I'm looking for. There we go. Up. Will you up? Okay. All right. So let's do this. This is the. Actually, I've got the edit version up here. What am I doing? Hold on. This is so difficult.
Got too many little buttons on all this stuff.
There is. Well, you know, the thing is, I mean, I produce radio, and one of the biggest no-nos is you never produce your own show. And guess what I'm doing? I'm producing my own show, and it's not a good idea. All right, here, I'm just going to do it this way. This way we've got, it's pulled up like a PDF document. All right, so anyway, here we go to headlines. We've already talked about all this stuff. There is the Gulf Coast Amateur Radio Club has their Ham Fest this weekend, tomorrow, in Newport Richey, Florida. And there's one on the 29th coming up in DeSoto, and that's in Arcadia. That's not far. And Arcadia is a beautiful town. If you've never walked around in downtown Arcadia, it's worth it. Space weather. We're under a storm watch for the weekend. They're thinking that some of this energy that's been released here may affect us on January 16th. So all that's going to kind of coincide with this bad terrestrial weather we're going to get. So that's interesting. Anyway, we're looking at this complex coming around the limb over there, and they're going to rotate in the next couple days around to where they're facing this way. They could simmer and provide really good radio for us, or they could release an explosion of information, an explosion of energy, and totally screw it up for us. So it could go either way at this point. But anyway, these have already caused a few minor radio blackouts. The next thing I do want to talk about tonight, this is kind of a big deal. Solar cycle 25 is heating up. Solar cycle 25 has almost doubling its current prediction right now. You see where we're at right now? That red line, the red line is the predicted path. That's the prediction. That's where they thought we were going to be. The purple line is the current trend, which doesn't go all the way to the end, of course. And then you see the black line is the daily plot, and you can see that it's been above average all the way since 2020, pretty much. We haven't dipped below average since 2020. This solar cycle is not only bigger than it was expected, it's earlier than expected. So those are real good. Go ahead.
I got a question for everybody, really. But okay, so solar cycle 25. I don't know about everybody else, but I've been, doing relatively well with it. Except that I'm not really working any further, any more DX, or even any new stations. I'm just working them on higher bands.
Right.
I mean, I've got quite a few contacts this week on 10 meters. 10 meters has been open 2 or 3 days. I mean, going back before Christmas, we actually hit 145 on the sun, the radio sun, as I like to call it. But I've actually worked no DX. I've worked my existing DX on higher bands. Now, is that the same for everybody else?
Well, I don't seem to notice like 40 get very much better or worse than it is every day. It seems an 80 seems to be about the same every day. I'm like you. I see the big difference in 17, 15, 12, and 10. That's where I see the big difference all the time, because that's where, like you said, it's either wide open or it's completely closed. The lower frequencies, they seem to just be open no matter what. So yeah, I actually have the same experience, and I agree with you. Anybody else have
Any,
anything?
anybody else got any comment on that? Okay, I've got one more quick one which relates to this. 6 meters this week has been outstanding. I don't know if anyone's been on 6 meters,
No, I haven't.
but and I don't know if that's got anything to do with, what we're experiencing with the, the current weather or whatever. Since I moved to this location, I worked 19 states on 6 meters. On Tuesday, I worked 17 states and only one new one. So now I've got 20 states, but I worked 17 of those states, over 80 contacts on 6 meters on Tuesday. And that was,
Wow.
yeah, 50-50. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but 50-50 SSB and FT8. But, and as you know, I've got indoor antennas. So I just wondered if anyone else has had a comment on that.
Anybody? I will tell you that right now something has happened since the storm, since the show started here. Look at this. We're now in a major geomagnetic storm. It just started. And notice what happens when we go into a storm.
Everything becomes poor.
It shuts everything down. Your EME degradation goes to poor. The solar flux is good at 108. It's fair. I'll tell you, here's what I noticed. When the solar flux is at 70 or 80, everything's just mediocre. When you get up to 120, 130, 140, that's when I really start to notice those upper frequencies start to come alive. So I mean, the solar flux to me is what the number that I watch the most when I'm looking for openings. But I'll also admit, we have not seen anything like what happens during the solar cycle when we're in the peak of the cycle. I've only been doing this 18 months. I don't know if I know Rick's been around for other peaks, but when we peak out, we're going to have solar flux indices of 200 and 300. I for 18 months have been sitting here watching it bounce between 72 and 120. So I can only imagine how cool that's going to get, how fun that's going to get when.
I got to get this Hex Beam up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not quite fair to just look at the one figure. The
Right.
two that I find are the SFI and the K. Now, if K is high, like it is there, 6, radio is going to be crap. If the K is less than 1 or 1 or 0, then the radio and an STF is is up where it is now 109.
This is a scanner alert.
Then the
1,939 people listening to Passaic Fire Dispatch.
Yeah, your
Passaic
K index
County,
is way
New
up
Jersey,
because we're in a
8:30
major
p.m.
storm right
Active
now.
event, building
And
fire.
both those tell me that it's going to suck right now. But at night, the night bands, I'm looking at 40. I don't know if you guys can see it behind me, but the waterfall on 40 is strong. I mean, I've got all kinds of decodes coming in. So 40 and 80 just don't seem all that affected negatively by the solar cycle. The higher you go, though, the performance is definitely affected greatly by the solar cycle. So I agree with you on what you were saying.
Yeah, I worked a bunch of Japan stations, a couple, when this net started. But this evening I worked a bunch of, I worked quite a few Japan on 17 on the grey line, 6 o'clock or whatever it was tonight. I've got WAS for Japan. I don't know how I manage it with an indoor antenna, but there you go. But yeah, but I was doing that when the early part of 2021 on the same bands. But
Yep.
there you go.
Well, we're going to be, the next 3 years are going to be great. I mean, we're literally going to be working into this, and it's looking like it's going to be a stronger solar cycle than even they predicted. So that's going to be good for all of us, I think. Anyway, let's see where we're at here. That was when I put this out about noon today, about 11 o'clock, and you can see it was very quiet. So that's how quick we went from very quiet to major storm. I think that's from one end of the spectrum to the other. And notice bands were good this morning. So
And the K was
and the
only
K
one.
was one exactly with a index of over 100. So this morning wasn't bad. We were running good. Now it's all foobar.
Mhm.
Okay, so the rest of that, there's not a lot of aurora activity, and there's this I wanted to show you real quick. Sunday, man, nothing really good about Sunday when it comes to weather.
Yeah, it don't look good, is it?
Yeah, and the winds, we're talking 23 sustained with gusts to 45. So it's definitely an aluminum alert. Swap shop's on hiatus, not coming back until February 12th.
Hmm.
Something new to try. Do you like the logo I made for him today?
Mhm.
I literally made that logo and I sent it to John and Charles so they can use it on their stuff. But this is the $1.25 net. I don't know if you can get into this one from Collier County, but it is linked to that little repeater we got down there at the Benito Fire Station.
Yeah, did you do that map,
Yes,
Ian?
yes, I did.
Can you do one for 77s 440?
Yeah, yeah. For where? I mean, if
Well,
you,
for
if,
just the same map, the same area, but giving us the 440 repeaters, not the digital, just the like your 44775.
yeah, there's not many of them,
No, I know there's not
Didn't
many
you,
2 meters, but
and
not you. Didn't you
understand.
already make a map like that? You already made a map like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I do have a couple of maps like that. Let me
It doesn't
see.
have like the circle. It doesn't have like the range circles, but there is a map you made already, like an interactive map or something that has like all the repeaters on it.
yeah, it'd be kind of useful to know, especially when you're running around mobile, give you some idea of which repeater you can use. That's what I use it for. Because I'm halfway between Naples and you guys. I'm kind of out in the. I actually do live in Lee County, but at the end of my street here, 200 yards away, it's Collier County.
Oh well, then you definitely should be able to get into that south repeater down there, then the one at Benito's Fire Station.
Yeah, I'm.
So
I can spit from here to the fire station.
I can hear all the repeaters from here.
Yeah, I cannot hit the Benito repeater from here, even with my Yetis.
Yeah, I can hit it from here. Believe it or not.
Southwest Florida repeater map. Yeah, if you go to the website, go to this is a different one. If you go to my website, here I'll pull it over here so you can see it. If you go to my website and you go under resources, go to Southwest Florida repeater map. I've got it right there. This one, it doesn't have the circles, but this one shows you a lot of the repeater sites. And what's great about this is when you click on the site, it tells you all about that site, who runs it, who owns it, all that. I built this for the website. So like if you want to see about this one's here. That's the SARNet repeater, Statewide Amateur Radio Repeater Network, and it tells you all about it with a link and everything. It's all right here. And there's the SARNet repeater sites. If you click on, there's the 775, or actually there's both of them. There's two of them at that site.
Yeah.
And I've actually got this under FMARC, but they are not FMARC. It's Lee County Co-op owns those. And I got the Charlotte ones. I don't think I have any Collier stuff yet, but I'm willing to do it. And of course, this is the NI4CE in Verna. And of course, all the info for that's right here with links. So if you guys haven't used this yet, try it out. It's I built this from scratch. It's a Google applet, and I made this to where it has all the information that you might need. You just click on it, and it will tell you. There's the Lee County repeater that's maintained by FMARC, where it's at, coordinates, the wattage. It's all right there. So that I hope that helps.
Yeah, that will. Yeah. Okay, cool. I can
And
print it out as well.
I'd be glad to work with you and get the Collier stuff on here too.
Yeah, we've only got a couple, and ours are really just 100 yards apart, but they're North Naples as well. We haven't got anything down in Naples at all.
Your county's like is literally twice the size of ours. I can't believe you don't have repeaters somewhere, like all over the place.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of private ones that get switched on and off. So to me, a repeater that's not on all the time is useless. Because, can I get it? I don't know if it's switched on. I don't know if it's switched off. Out in Golden Gate, I don't know how many there's out there. There's 5 or 6. There's one down on, well, I say we got 2 repeaters, and they're both in Pelican Bay up on top of the big buildings there. And they're one building apart. And then we've got one, which is the Aries repeater, which is in Golden Gate. And then we've got 5 others in Golden Gate, but they're all owned by private people. So they're not, they're on whenever they want them on. There's a couple that belong to snowbirds. They use them for DXing when they're down here in the winter, but not in the summer. And then there is one, the Marco Island Club. I've got one down on Marco Island. But I can dig you the info up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and make that up so that it's. I'd rather it be complete. Yeah, just to show you guys on here, under resources, you've got the this Lee County repeater coverage. If you click that, you can actually go in there and it's actually a tool to make repeater maps. It's pretty cool. The Lee County Aries standard frequency list is right here. You can just click that, and it will actually bring up that same Aries standard frequency list right here. And you can print it, view it, save it, do everything right there. And also,
that list is not available as a document we can put into Chirp as a what was I thinking?
Yes, I made one. If you go to my QRZ page.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I've got this on the website, but if you go to my QRZ page, let's see, KO4EFS, go to my QRZ page and scroll way down to the bottom. It's right down here. See the little chirp symbol?
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that down here, I've got 4 different programs down here listed. This is the standard frequency list. This is the standard frequency list plus the extras. And those are the actual chirp programs right there. So you just right click and you can save link address or save it. And it will save it as or I guess when you click on it. There you go. And it'll save it as a CSV file. There it is.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep, it's right there.
Okay.
And if you use the second one I have there, the advanced one, it actually has it has a lot of the channel. It has all the spaces filled in. And so that would be my recommendation to you is to use the especially if you're just looking for resources, use the standard frequency list plus. If you use that one, you'll notice instead of having 74 channels that are all mixed and missing, this one actually goes all the way to 200. And it's got everything. It's got all the ISS pairs. It's got all the NI4CE repeaters. It's got the leaf fire channels, the Division of Forestry, all the weather channels from around the state, the FRNet, GMRS, FRS. And then this is really cool. This is all the SARNets. They're all here. So
That's
if you
cool.
travel around the state, they're all here. And I put them in order. So if you're traveling out of the state, you'll notice you get in here and they're in a specific order. I don't know how that works, but you can go as you're following your way out of the state. You can just keep flipping to different channels and stay with SARNet. These are your C channels. There's C16, which is your Marine 16. That's a Miami repeater, I think, in here. There's just, these are all just extra stuff. These are disaster intercity frequencies. That's government stuff. And then we're into the amateur radio repeaters. These are experimental channels that I've programmed in for us to use with the TechNet. This VHF1, UHF1. These are experimental channels that we're using, and I've put a PL tone on them, and I used them for like crossband repeating and things like that. But it gives me spare frequencies that I can use to test things. Those are all in the experimental bandwidth range, so you can use them for any low power stuff. Yeah, and then the rest of this is just everything, all the different, and this is, like I said, it's the actual frequency list. There is no channel 0, so I just got my call sign in there, but that's pretty much it. That's how it works. It's all there, and that will go right into your chirp. Just as I always remind everybody, always download your radio, and then take the file and have both tabs up, and then just copy the lines from one to the other. Don't ever re-upload my chirp file into your radio. Always copy my lines into your lines, and then re-upload your code plug back to your radio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any questions on that? All right, so the buck and a quarter net. All that was because we started talking about the buck and a quarter net. Not bad.
Yeah.
This is a great net. It's a good net. We talk about a lot of stuff on there, and I'll tell you, I love the 220. I love that band. All I have on it right now is a little Bofang, and it's all I need. I got a little coat hanger antenna outside the window, and it's loud and clear. DX is in here. Let's see. The Webb Space Telescope deploys. It's got its reflector out. That's pretty cool. This is all pretty standard stuff. They got a new question pool coming out for the tech questions.
June, July, somewhere there.
Yeah, it's a new question pool. So if you know somebody that's studying the questions and the answers, like everybody does now, let's all admit it. And then you might want to let them know that if they're not going to test in the next month or two, they might want to get the new set of questions. They're just wasting time. I will tell you, a lot of them are staying the same. I think there's only like 70 or 80 of them that are changing. And I think they're actually removing a few. There's going to be a few less now or something, or a few more or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, yeah, the developer of a logging software passed away. And parks on the air tallies are up for 2021. And, POTA is something, anytime I see a POTA, I grab it. I try to give those guys priority over everybody else on FT8. But anyway, I love me some POTA. Project of the week. I love this project because I hate homeowners associations. I would never live in one. There's a special place in hell for homeowners association people.
This is a scanner alert.
I'm sure there is.
6,076 people listening to Passaic Fire Dispatch.
Boy,
Passaic
there goes
County,
the scanner
New
alert
Jersey,
again. There must be a
8:30
big
PM.
fire in New
Active
Jersey.
event,
Okay,
building
anyway,
fire.
HOA. You have problems. This is called a flower pot antenna. You can go to the Hobby Lobby or Pottery World or Chick Barn or one of those places, and you go in and you find the long flowers that have the piece of metal inside of them so that you can bend them around. There's your aerials.
Make antenna out of that, yeah.
You make an antenna out of 5 fake flowers. And then you buy a bunch of other fake flowers that don't have the metal piece in them to go around it. And you got a whole antenna. I thought this was so cool. It's literally a $20 project, maybe a $25 project. You got to buy some important things is you got to buy everything. This all has to be plastic when you do it. Make sure that there's no metal at all. It's all plastic. And you want to get a little spacer or an extra hook or a band or something because you're not going to want your antenna to touch your bracket that's coming out. You want to have some separation there. So you might need to put a little expander in there. But other than that, this is what a great thing. I mean, you could literally, and if you're making a 440 or a 220, that'd be even easier. Okay. it'd be even smaller flower pot with smaller flowers. But yeah, the you need 19-inch flowers if you're going to do
This is a Wink News
obviously 2
alert.
meter.
Winter weather across the eastern US could mean flight delays for you. Airplane what to look out for this weekend.
Oh.
Next at 10 TV.
Notice I have the British voice. For some reason, I like my news read by her. I don't know why. Hello, read me the news. Anyway. So anyway, that's my project of the week. I really love this one. I don't know why. It's because anytime you can put one over on the condo Gestapos and the apartment Nazis and all those people,
I love
the
it.
frequency Karens, whatever you want to call them. So, the funny boners of the week. I found some funny ones this week. Worf does not like when you touch his radios. I'm just letting you know. His are built into that console there where he stands. Just don't touch those radios, okay? I need more gigawatts! And I love this one here. My friend's reaction when he learns I'm getting my ham license, and I might even learn how to do Morse code. He's like, so you joined another cult. So anyway, there you go. All right, contests. Go ahead.
Can you put the newsletters up? You've dropped them. They're not on the screen.
I'm
You
sorry.
used to have the newsletter up. It's gone.
I'm sorry. I had it clicked. I don't know what happened. But anyway, there's the funny boners. My bad. Jeez. I think you guys have all seen all this anyway. But,
I love the raccoon.
yeah. You know, there's a lot of ham radio memes, surprisingly. Probably about 300 to choose from. I'm slowly working my way through them. But, you know, two of my favorite things is the Back to the Future trilogy and the Star Trek franchise. So there you go. Anyway, this weekend we have the Digi contest. And I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you guys, last weekend, I did the RTTY or RIDI, whatever you want to call it. I did that one. And let me tell you something. I got 180 contacts on FT4. I just sat there, wham, wham, thank you, man. Over and over and over again, man. I was making contacts like you wouldn't believe. And I only worked it for maybe about 6 hours, and I made 180 contacts or something. I'm telling you guys, if you want to make a lot of good contacts on FT8, FT4 contest weekends, you don't have to turn your log in or nothing. Just do it. Just make the contest. The only hard part is setting your FT8 for the right contest. That's the only hard part, and it's not that big a deal. I'm going to be doing this one starting tomorrow. It starts at noon Zulu. Let's see what's so noon Zulu tomorrow. Help me out, guys. That's going to be what, 7 a.m.
That's like 700 hours. That's early.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's early. So yeah, that's
That early.
and it goes till the 15th at 11:59 Zulu. Does that make sense? So it goes from 7 a.m. tomorrow to 7 a.m. Sunday.
Yeah, it's 24-hour period.
Yeah, I get that, but I just don't understand. I don't know. Normally they start at like 17 Zulu or 19 Zulu, so we can start around noon or whatever. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna do this, guys. I'm gonna do this one tomorrow. I'm gonna come out here early in the morning like I do, and I'm gonna hit this hard and see if I can get a couple hundred contacts. So anyway, I don't know how to set my thing for it, but I'm gonna figure it out. And the North American QSO party, this is a CW, so if you don't do CW, that's not going to help you much there. But that one, I guess, is a fairly big one. And then the only other one I thought was worth mentioning is the ARRL January VHF contest. I have had such shit luck on these VHF contests. I find a lot of times that after about 4 hours of contesting with myself, I get bored. What am I doing wrong on these VHF contests? I mean, I don't know what to do. 50 megahertz and up. I guess 6 meters is where you need to be. Okay, so I guess you guys got all the answers for me. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to do something with this one. Um, and see, it starts at 1900 Zulu, which is 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, which is what I'm used to. But I may try to do something with this. I would love to make some voice contacts on 6. I don't think I've made any voice contacts on 6. Yeah, if you guys are interested in these, the links are right in the newsletter. You can just click on it, and that brings you right to the PDF with the rules.
Awesome.
All right, website of the week, Wix. I gotta tell you guys something. I get told by people all the time, we don't have a good website because we just can't afford to hire some young person to build it for us. And I'm like, dude, they have websites now that literally anybody can use. You can be a basic user of the computer and you can build your own websites. It is so easy. And if you guys want, I'd be glad to take a few minutes and just show you. I want to just take a few minutes and show you some of the things that you can do.
You want to look at what I did on our the Alabama one? You're not gonna like it probably.
Oh, I haven't really looked at it since. Yeah, we can watch. Do you want me to show it? I can show it.
Yeah, it's not done yet. I only had a little while to work on it, but yeah, it's more basic. It's a lot more basic than the TechNet site, but I kind of wanted it to be more basic for at least for now while I'm starting everything up. The main page is
basic.
But go look through the other tabs. I made like the live projects thing and the club repeater thing and the contact us thing.
Oh, that's cool.
The Broadcastify is in there for the local Huntsville stuff. The camera's not on, but it's there.
Right.
Club repeater one, that's just for like what we meet on. And then you contact us stuff. It's very basic right now, but
that's really cool.
That's cool, and it doesn't look 1960s disco.
I'm gonna.
Sorry, Ian, I bet that hurt.
No, that's fine. If you like blonde bland, go for it.
I'm gonna have on the main page. I'm gonna have on the home page. It's gonna link to the TechNet site. But yeah, that was just to get it up and going.
Well, that's cool. So yeah, that we got his logo done. Didn't it look nice?
Yeah. Geez, didn't it look like they copied some other logo I've seen lately?
Not copied, used with permission.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm letting anybody use this that wants to. I think this is great. I'm going to help start tech teams everywhere I can. If somebody in Collier or somebody in Peoria wants to start a tech team, I will help them. I think it's just a neat thing to get 6 or 8 guys together and to start a tech team and not have the cumbersome big 400 people team and all the problems with that. We won't get into any of that. Yeah, but anyway, that's his site. Let's go back to Wix. Here you can see the TechNet site. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the TechNet site on the back end and show you guys how we can actually edit the TechNet site. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the website that we're all using right now for the show. And this is basically the back end of it right here. From here, you can get into a lot of your exterior stuff from here, a lot of your settings and stuff for here. But this is not the actual editor. You're going to do most of your work from inside the editor. I don't use this screen for all that much. You're going to edit the site. When you create a site, you can pick a template. You can pick a blank. Or you can take my website, make a copy of it, and then go in and just modify it and make it your website. There's any way you want to do this. Like when Joseph wanted to build a website, he just took the parts he wanted from mine and moved them over and then started moving them around the way he wants them. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. most of the stuff on my site I saw somewhere else, I liked it, so I incorporated it on my site somehow. But see, here's the actual editor, and I just want to I give you guys a few minutes to just kind of look at how this works. But everything on here is an element, and each element can be moved up or down on the canvas, and each element can be moved around, it can be sized, anything can be done with any element. Notice the patch right here. I click on it. There's all the things I can do with it. I can crop it, I can design it, edit it, click the settings on it, filters. You can do so many things from right here. It makes it so simple to build websites. If I don't want that there anymore, I can move it wherever I want. I could take it, move it, put it back there. Notice it goes behind this. That's all set by order. I right click and set the order. Arrange, bring to front, move forward, bring to back. You can arrange things in what order you want them in on your page. Okay, you got your main menu bar. Your main menu bar, you can actually double click on that and it brings up all your different menus for that. Here's all your menus. You can design it. Where do you want each page? Do you want Zoom links to be above, about, or below? This is how you design all that. And then all this becomes this menu bar that's on every page. It happens automatically. You don't have to build a menu bar. The menu bar is automatically built based on what you've done, based on the pages you've made. So it's so simple. If someone out there wants to build a website, I'll spend an hour with you this weekend. Call me up. We'll get Wix on and we'll get a Zoom going, and I will personally walk you through the first hour, and you will have a working website by the end of the weekend, and you'll be happy. It's free. If you eventually want the little pink banner at the top to go away, and you want more advanced SEO stuff with Google and things like that, you can pay the fee and make it a paid site, and there's a lot of advantages to that. Mine's still a free site. Doesn't need to be a paid site. This thing right here, this is a widget that just goes in here. It's a sign up widget. I double click on that. It shows you right here. Here's the actual widget. And here's how it works. It's a mailing list widget. And here's how you can design. Here's the two fields and what it asks for and how it asks for them, what order it's in. It all just goes right in here. And then this, when you fill it out and hit enter, it just sends it to my email. Live streams, these are the same things. This is a little applet that I'm running, and I just put an iframe in here. I went and made this code. I went and got this code from Broadcastify to put a player on my website. Came here, went in and put in HTML coding, and there it is. Boom, you can now listen to our Broadcastify feed right here on the website. Same thing with this. This, it's simply another website within a website. If you double click it, you can see it's simply the website from PSK
This is a
Reporter.
scanner alert.
See, PSK Reporter
9,041 people
update
listening to Passaic
website.
Fire Dispatch, Passaic
literally
County, New Jersey, 8:30 p.m.
shows the
Active
website
event,
within
building
the box,
fire.
within my website. So all I'm doing is showing another website within my website. Same thing down here. This is simply a photograph, or this is an image that is fetched every time. And I simply just got this off of web tools. I went and got this particular little piece of code and put it in here and put the link in, and I'm done. Each thing I put on here works. These are just text boxes. I can go in here and edit this text. I can type whatever I want. This is just text boxes. The text can, look at all the adjustments on the text. Bold, italicized, underline, color, background color, link. You want to make it a link. Justify, bullet, increase indent, decrease indent. You got effects. You can put in outlines, underlines, shadows, all these different effects, character line spacing, vertical text. You can put in all these different things for that text. It's all right there. You don't have to figure it out. It's right in front of you. The background, let's say I don't like this background. I just double click on it. There it is. Change the background. Go right over here. I can do color, image, or video for my background. What do I want? Do I want to pick one they've already got here? Like I can pick one that they've got here, like this one here. I pick that. There's my background. It's that quick. It's done. Hit publish. It's published. There's no bullshit. It's just done. If I don't like that, I can always hit the back arrow and just revert it back to what it was before. You can upload your own image. If you don't like any of their images, you can just click image and it will bring up your media upload screen. And from here, you can upload any image that you want from your file. These are from Wix, or I can use my site files. These are all the stuff I've uploaded. I'm sure a lot of this probably looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all the pictures that I've used on the website over the year. And if I want one to be the background, I just click on it and that becomes the background. Isn't this amazing? Over here on the left, this is your main toolbar, okay? If you want to add something, let's say I want to add something. I click the plus. Look at all the stuff you can add. I can add strips, text, images, buttons, galleries, decorative features, interactive features, boxes of every shape. Look at all the different shapes of boxes. Lists, video and music. You can embed YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, Facebook, menus and anchors. There's all your different menus and your anchors, social media, contacts and forms. That's where I got the thing over here to sign up for the newsletter. Contacted form, it's an email form, and I just changed the colors around. Embed, you can actually go out to the internet and get an embed widget or an embed code or a site, and you can embed it directly onto your website using the code. It gets a little more advanced. Content managers, these are like if you want to set up dynamic pages, which I don't really get into. But if the site gets any bigger, I'm probably going to have to do something like that. You can set up a blog in here. You can set up a store. You can take money. You can sell products. You can do any of that kind of stuff in here. Make your own PayPal buttons. Some of these things have a little cost that are associated with them, of course. Most don't. You can do bookings if you have a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever you got. You want to do bookings, you can do your bookings through here. Or you can take your Airbnb widget and you can put your Airbnb widget right on your personal website.
Hey, Ian,
Yeah.
I gotta go now, so saying bye to everybody.
All right, man. You have a good one. Be safe. Okay, man. We'll talk to you over the weekend.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, I've got to go as well, Ian. So I've got to say I've got to take the dog for a walk before I go
All
to
right.
bed.
Well,
I'll
truthfully,
say,
guys, I'm going early tonight too. My stomach's hurting pretty bad right now, but I just wanted to take a few minutes and show you guys this Wix editor. So
yeah, we'll catch you next week. Okay,
all right, man. Thanks for coming
7-3.
today. 7-3. We'll see you later. All right, guys. So anyway, is there any other questions I can answer on this real quick? Okay. Listen, if you guys ever want to build a website, please get with me. I would love to help you do. I love helping people start websites. I love building websites. I've built a bunch of them. You can see on here I got a bunch of them that I've built, and I just love building websites. There was a time when I was building one just to show you, they called me one day last year and said, hey, we need you to build a virtual hamfest for FMARC. Can you do it? And I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. No problem. A day later, I had the website just about ready to go online. You can see here, it was, I build these quick.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I build these very quick. And then at one point, they were gonna. I put in a proposal to work on their website because their website was a disaster. It's fixed now. It's good now, but there was some problems with it. So I offered at one point to build the club website. So I recreated the entire club website from top to bottom and I copied over everything I could, created the templates, put it all together, and I had it all ready in about 24 hours, and I showed it to
Wow.
them.
Is this
So-
what Tom's using, or is he using something else?
Nope, they use a thing called oh, I can't remember the name of it. I don't like what they use. I tried using it. I don't like it. It's you end up just not ever getting anything right because it's just hard to use. But yeah, I mean, I even had all the pages all done in here and everything. I mean, this was ready to go. And then they decided to continue down the road they were on. But anyway, but yeah, just to show you, I mean, building sites is quick. It's easy. I'll show you here. Let me show you another one here. Create a new site. Let me show you how easy this is. Create a new site. Comes up. What kind of site do you want? Oh, I don't know. Let's say a technology company. Next. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, they will make the website for you for a fee. I like to make my own. Edit a template. So now look, here's all the templates, and there's a bunch of them. Okay. So you go through and you pick the template that you think looks closest to what you want to do with your website. Let's say it's this one. You click edit. Now, just like that, it's your website. It brings that template, sits it into your website, into your web builder, and assigns it to a website. It's there. And now it just takes a minute to come up. And once it comes up, that template we just chose is there. And then all we have to do is just make it ours. When I first started doing this, I used to use templates. Now I build the stuff from scratch, or I copy a previous thing I've done and use it. And you know what? I get criticism because it looks like 70s disco. But you want to know the truth? People remember my site. They remember it. It's the red one. It's the bright one. It's the one that stood out. It's the one that looks like the Mystery Machine. And that okay, so here we go. I basically now can change anything about this I want. So now I want to make this my mine. So what I can do now is I can go add whatever I want. Let's say I want to change this. I want to put my call sign in here. I forgot my call sign. So I put my call sign right there. Let's say I want to put my name right here. There we go. Let's say I want to put this here. It didn't change. But you can see how quick this goes. Now, this button, I want it to change. I don't like what it says. I want it to say button. And I want it to link to my whatever other page, to the services page. Done. See how quick that is? I want this button to say button 2, and I want it to connect to my anchor page. Done. Look how quick I'm moving all this around. This main menu comes directly off of my page layout. So as I change my page layout here, this up here automatically changes. Watch, if I change services down to here, notice it changes up here. This is just a mirror of this. You see what I mean? So as you build this in real time, your menus on all your pages automatically update. You don't have to change everything. In the old days, every time you added a link, you had to go add it to your menus and everything. It's all done automatically now. If you don't like this background, again, change strip background. You can just pick that and it'll give you options to change it to a different strip. Change it. If you don't like any of these, you can click image and you can literally upload your own. Just click upload media, go to your file and upload your own file and put it in there. All right. Any more questions on this?
Pretty sweet.
I'm gonna tell you guys, it's actually more than pretty sweet. It's amazing to me, because it allows you to do so many things with just a simple website, and you can play around with it for years and get it just right. And then when you're ready to launch it, pay for it and get all the benefits of paying for the site and get all the SEO connections with Google and all that kind of stuff. Truthfully, I've managed to go as far as I have here without even having to do that. So I am going to be paying for it though coming up, because I do want to get more hits. Our numbers were really low tonight, so I'm going to be looking at some ways to expand that. Our newsletter went out to 265 people today, and it just doesn't seem like we're getting a return. So I think a lot of it is the topic tonight. I don't think people really cared about the topic tonight. I thought the Stormwatch Net would be something people would be more interested in, but maybe not. I'm still going to do it to some degree. All right. Anything else?
Can't think of it.
Yeah.
Getting kind of been up since 7 this morning, so I'm starting to feel the effects.
Well, we were up till midnight last week. That's not going to happen tonight. I'm done. I'm very, very tired, and I still have to go in there and sign into the station, and I still have 4 shows to check, 3 commercials to check that I put in earlier just to double check because they start running in the morning, and I got paid programming shows that run at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 11 a.m. tomorrow. And I have to go tonight and make sure that those first 2 are really good. Those paid programming shows are, they're a bitch. They're worth like $1,000, and if you screw it up, you get in trouble. I mean, you got to make sure they really get in there. And so I put them all in while I was busy producing at work. So what I do is I come home, sit and relax, dial in, and double check everything and just make sure I didn't screw something up. Every now and then I find some screw up that I had. So it's always a good thing. All right. I guess that's it. Jonathan, I'm not sure who you are, but I appreciate you coming in tonight and being with us and hanging out with us through the night. Rick, of course. I know I'm sure Rick will probably talk at some point later about this if you want to do this net stuff with me. I want to find about 5 or 6 guys that want to do it that are all Cape Coral, Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, this area.
Somebody that knows the area would be
Yeah.
nice.
You're not, how far, what part of town do you live in?
I'm over here at, where on McGregor Boulevard, where the
Oh.
Midpoint Bridge comes across from Cape Coral? Right
Uh-huh.
there. Oh,
The
yeah.
midpoint?
Just south of it.
That's a great location. That's a nice location. That's right in the middle of everybody.
Yeah,
You literally have Fort Myers on one side and Cape Coral on the other.
that's right.
Yeah, that's a good spot, and you're near the water. You should get good propagation there.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Cape Coral repeater. I hear it just like it's right next door.
I bet. Yeah, that's the red one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the 775 should not be a problem from there.
Yeah.
So,
I don't have any
yeah.
trouble with hardly any. Of course, I've got an outdoor antenna now. So it's
Yeah.
an X, what is it? It's an X50. It's a Diamond X50. And I've got it about 15 feet above the ground. It's doing fine.
Yeah, I'm going to have my old Ringo Ranger out front, and I don't have any way to take that down. So it's probably going to be the one that stays up there in the storm.
Yeah.
And it's old. It was given to me. The tower was given to me. The antenna was given to me. And the cable I bought, it's cheap Chinese cable. And it works great. Man, you wouldn't believe it. It's just
It
works
works,
awesome.
works. That's what's
Yep.
good.
And I have nothing in it. I $25 for the cable, I think, on a 75-foot cable, that I bought already with connectors on it. It's Chinese, and I brought it in here and hooked it up, and it works great. It SWRs out wonderfully. Those Ringo Rangers are very forgiving on the SWR.
Yeah,
If
well,
you
they're
put- if
fairly
you put-
wide band.
Yep, yep, yeah. The SWR is just about 0 all the way across through the entire ham band on 2 meters,
Yeah,
and it's low enough to be used on 440. Although I'm sure the lobe's crap, but
yeah. The problem is the pattern that you get, but in a
but-
pinch you can use it.
yeah, I mean it'll be great. It would still work for all the area 440 repeaters, and if the SWR would be like 2 to 1, so it's still acceptable SWR. So, but anyway, yeah, I can't wait to get all this done. We've been waiting
Yeah,
on this
you
money
gotta-
for a while, and we
That's
finally
like I've
got
got to
it.
get this mess here cleaned up.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, we're gonna call it a night. You and I are the only ones left now, so we're gonna
Okay.
call it a night. To
All right.
everyone on YouTube, thanks for listening out there, and thanks for being a part of this. And we hope to see you on the next one.
till next week.
My name's Ian, KO4EFS with Rick, K4RAB, and